Life teaches us to make good use of time, and time teaches us the value of life. Instructions for living a life. Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it. Look deep into nature, and you will understand everything better. The trouble is, you think you have time. Don't wait for a guru. Your life is your guru. There are two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity. In school, you're taught a lesson and then given a test. In life, you're given a test that teaches you a lesson. You may be the only person left who believes in you, but it's enough. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Fear is not a good teacher. The lessons of fear are quickly forgotten. At some point, you will realize no one else has a say in your life unless you let them. Not everyone is meant to be in your future. Some people are just passing through to teach you lessons in life. Just because you got away with a bad decision, it doesn't make it a good decision. No matter how nice or respectful you are, some people will still talk bad about you behind your back. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. The reason you want to be better than someone else is the reason why you aren't. Life is not about waiting for the storms to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. Try to accomplish things you have always dreamt of while you can. I know it sounds cliché, but the biggest lesson I have learned is that life is precious. Enjoy it while it lasts. The people who say you can't and you won't are usually the ones scared that you will. Experience, don't expect experience. Life, do not carry expectations on how it should be. Your value is not determined by someone else's inability to see your worth. People only get better with experience if they are willing to learn and understand the lessons that are given to them through the bad times in their lives. Experience is a hard teacher because she gives the test first, the lesson afterward. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. It's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. 4 lessons on Life 1. Never take down a fence until you know why it was put up. 2. If you get too far ahead of the army, your soldiers may mistake you for the enemy. 3. Don't complain about the bottom rungs of the ladder. They help to get you higher. 4. If you want to enjoy the rainbow, be prepared to endure the storm. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If it can be fixed, why are you complaining? If it can't be fixed, why are you complaining? Think of each failure, each heartache, and each loss in your life as a lesson in courage and resilience. Waiting for change while not doing anything for it is like waiting for the train at a bus stop. Be not afraid of moving slowly. Be only afraid of standing still. You train people how to treat you, unconsciously or not. The only person who's ever going to. Your hard work is you. Not this company, not your boss, only you. It's not worth killing yourself over a company that'll replace you in 2 days if you're gone. Most people are only nice when things don't matter. I've come to realize that every single day we face moments that are difficult, uncertain, and scary. Your life requires courage. To be conscious that you are ignorant is a great step to knowledge. That mountain you've been carrying, you were only supposed to climb. Given the choice between being right and being kind, choose kind. Your enemies will often tell you the truth because it hurts, and your friends will often lie because it doesn't. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. Life is a long lesson in humility. You only struggle because you're ready to grow but aren't willing to let go. Sometimes in life, your situation will keep repeating itself until you learn your lesson. When you work for someone else, you have the right only to labor, not to the fruits of your labor. One important thing to consider is that we are born ready to give and receive love, but our life lessons get in the way of experiencing this gift. Life is inherently risky. There is only one big risk you should avoid at all costs, and that is the risk of doing nothing. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Nothing in life that is worth having comes easy. Don't be afraid of a shadow. It just means there's a light nearby. Every person alive hits a crossroads in life when you have to let go of the past and forge ahead into something new. The only sad thing would be clinging to the past once it's out of reach. My greatest life lesson has been that life can change in a second. This is why it's important to always live your best possible life and to do what you can for others. Speak your mind, even if your voice shakes. Some of life's best lessons are learned at the worst times. You are either part of the problem or part of the solution. Your mind gives up a lot faster than your body. When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. You don't notice your progress in life because you are always raising the bar. One day, or day one, you decide. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. It's not the mistake that matters. It's how you interpret the lesson. A calm sea will not make you a skilled sailor. The chief lesson I have learned in a long life is that the only way to make a man trustworthy is to trust him, and the surest way to make him untrustworthy is to distrust him and show your distrust. Whoever fights can lose. Whoever doesn't fight has already lost. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. If you aren't confident, fake it. It will come. Don't waste another moment crying over what went wrong. If it wasn't a blessing, it was a lesson. People often confuse stress with responsibility. There's not a lot of things worth caring about. It takes a long time to realize how truly miserable you are, and even longer to realize it doesn't have to be that way. Some people come in your life as blessings. Others come in your life as lessons. The biggest lesson I learned this year is to not force anything. Conversations, friendships, relationships, attention, love. Anything forced is just not worth fighting for. Whatever flows, flows. What crashes, crashes. Be afraid, but do it anyway. In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. You'll learn to walk by following rules. You learn by doing and by falling over. Resentment is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. If you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. Don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a lot of time making it. Life taught me love is risky. Death taught me to love even more. Things are only impossible until they are not. The past is just a story we tell ourselves. Don't make someone a priority in your life when they don't do the same for you. If you stopped seeing the world in terms of what you like and what you dislike, and saw things for what they truly are in themselves, you would find a great deal more peace in your life. Life is a series of experiences, each one of which makes us bigger, even though sometimes it is hard to realize this. For the world was built to develop character, and we must learn that the setbacks and griefs which we endure help us in our marching onward. We have 2 lives, and the second begins when we realize we only have one. Judge a man by his questions rather than by his answers. You make mistakes. Mistakes don't make you. Sometimes, a hypocrite is nothing more than a man in the process of changing. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Pause and remember every single event in your life, especially the difficult lessons, have made you smarter, stronger, and wiser than you were yesterday. Be thankful. Never be so kind you forget to be clever and never be so clever you forget to be kind. You're going to make a lot of people mad doing what's right for you. In the book of life, the answers aren't in the back. I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happen. Someone's opinion of you doesn't have to become your reality. The world is a tragedy to those who feel, but a comedy to those who think. Every relationship offers one of two things, a lesson or a blessing. In many instances, the lesson is the ultimate blessing. Over the years, I've come to realize that mistakes are just lessons. Life lessons, almost like school. Once you've learned a lesson in class, you move on to the next lesson because now you know it. Well, mistakes are exactly the same. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around, you could miss it. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it is a quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I will try again tomorrow." Learning to appreciate those things that aren't related to success has proved the biggest lesson. When you share your story and become vulnerable, the ripple effect and the people that you can help along the way is a life lesson. We are all the bad guy in someone's story. Whatever is causing you worry or pain right now won't cause you worry or pain forever. Things change with time, and it will pass. The only time you should look into someone else's bowl is to make sure they have enough. Our life experiences are a result of where our attention takes us. The universe is one great kindergarten for man. Everything that exists has brought with it its own peculiar lesson. Embrace stress as the opposite of apathy. Contentment is not the fulfillment of what you want, but the realization of how much you already have. Straight roads do not make skillful drivers. The point of the argument is not to defeat each other, but to understand each other. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. If you are unhappy, you are doing something wrong. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. They've promised that dreams can come true, but forgot to mention that nightmares are dreams too. Every one of us comes into this life with lessons to learn and gifts to give. You will never remember the days and nights you stay home and do nothing. Any thoughts you have about the future is a delusion. One of the best lessons you can learn in life is to master how to remain calm. Keep breaking your heart until it opens. To realize that you are not your thoughts is when you begin to awaken spiritually. It is not a lack of time. It is a lack of priority. People don't get what they deserve. The biggest lesson I had in my life was failure. The things you own end up owning you. It's not your fault. Things are the way they are. If you find yourself repeatedly questioning whether or not something is right for you, the answer is usually no. Always remember people who have helped you along the way, and don't forget to lift someone up. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Fake love is mighty convincing in a world where real love is mighty rare. Youth is happy because it has the capacity to see beauty. Anyone who keeps the ability to see beauty never grows old. Never take someone's feelings for granted. You never know how much courage they took to share them. One man's fault is another man's lesson. Life just gets so much better when you stop taking things personally. If you are alone for a long time, soon you will accept loneliness. You will never know your potential if you are afraid to be alone. Be the person you needed when you were younger. Let go or be dragged. Every defeat, every heartbreak, every loss contains its own seed, its own lesson on how to improve your performance the next time. The one thing that I keep learning over and over again is that I don't know nothing. I mean, that's my life lesson. You have to make mistakes to find out who you aren't. You take the action, and the insight follows. You don't think your way into becoming yourself. You aren't always responsible for the first thought you have, but you are responsible for the second one. In every success story, you will find someone who has made a courageous decision. You'll ruin your life trying to make everyone happy. In the long run, we shape our lives and we shape ourselves. The process never ends until we die, and the choices we make are ultimately our responsibility. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. You can't cross the ocean until you lose sight of the shore. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Remember when you wanted what you currently have. Man was born free, and he is everywhere in chains. Those who think themselves the masters of others are indeed greater slaves than they. Mistakes are a part of being human. Appreciate your mistakes for what they are. Precious life lessons that can only be learned the hard way. Unless it's a fatal mistake, which at least others can learn from. You can either be a negative or positive person in life, but only one will get you somewhere. Worrying only means you suffer twice. Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of others. Instead, seek what they sought. I know I made a lot of mistakes, but they, in turn, were my life lessons. Those that are most slow in making a promise are the most faithful in the performance of it. You must be big enough to admit your mistakes, smart enough to learn from them, and strong enough to correct them. Just because you hate this chapter doesn't mean you'll hate the book. Honesty without kindness is brutality. Kindness without honesty is manipulation. On lesson, learn: don't look where you fall, but where you slipped. Letting go is very hard, but it's the best thing to do. If there's a single lesson that life teaches us, it's that wishing doesn't make it so. Forgive, but do not forget, or you will be hurt again. Forgiving changes the perspectives. Forgetting loses the lesson. The home is the first and most effective place to learn the lessons of life: truth, honor, virtue, self-control, the value of education, honest work, and the purpose and privilege of life. Nothing can take the place of home in rearing and teaching children, and no other success can compensate for failure in the home. By 3 methods, we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. If you expect the world to be fair with you because you are fair, you're fooling yourself. That's like expecting the lion not to eat you because you didn't eat him. Just living is not enough. One must have sunshine, freedom, and a little flower. Pain is weakness, leaving your body. There are certain life lessons that you can only learn in the struggle. Life's lessons take a lifetime to learn. That's just how it is in life's classroom. But as we learn, we teach others. We are all teachers in the school of life. The people who mind don't matter. The people who matter don't mind. Expectation always hurts, so expect less or no expectation from others. Toast to the lessons not yet learned and to the trials that will teach them. Life can only be understood backward, but it must be lived forwards. There are 2 paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Beneath the pain is a lesson. Beneath the sorrow is hope. Beneath the struggle is courage when it seems all is lost. You find what you really need. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Wishing is not enough. We must do. Don't run from lessons. They are little packages of treasure that have been given to us. As we learn from them, our lives change for the better. Never Go to the past, not for happiness, not for justification. The world is what it is. You are what you are. Choose your pain, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. It's easy to fool someone. It's hard to convince them that they've been fooled. I have taken the biggest lesson of all from animals, needless to say, and discovering that living for the day is the way to live. The most valuable lessons in life cannot be taught. They must be experienced. Life is about balance. Be kind, but don't let people abuse you. Trust, but don't be deceived. Be content, but never stop improving yourself. Live life the way you want to live it, because even people who care for you can't be with you every step of the way. And I believe that there's a lesson in almost everything that you do and every experience, and getting the lesson is how you move forward. As life's lessons are learned, spiritual truth emerges. I'm grateful for every scar, some pages turned, some bridges burned, but there were lessons learned. Before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it kind? And is it necessary? The hardest thing to learn in life is which bridge to cross and which bridge to burn. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. Only 2 things we'll regret on deathbed: that we are a little loved and little traveled. There are more things likely to frighten us than to crush us. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Everything outside of this moment is just imagination. Those who cannot learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Life's lessons are about learning one or more of the values of the truth. Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself. We live longer when we are too busy living. Nothing is permanent. Don't stress yourself too much, because no matter how bad the situation is, it will change. Life is about accepting the challenges along the way, choosing to keep moving forward, and savoring the journey. What would you do if you weren't afraid?